What's up, and welcome to the Nothing But Net Worth podcast, where we have conversations with prominent coaches, athletic directors, and NIL athletes discussing critical topics around financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and much, much more. My name is Hassan Thomas, former student athlete and current promoter of all things financial wellness. And today, we have a very special athlete from my alma mater, Maryville College, Athlete of the Year, Freshman of the Year, two-time, two-time All-American, Mr. Clarence McLean Jr. How are you, brother? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, I'm blessed to have you on here, man. I'm glad you making, my alma mater look good, man. Turning up Maryville College for these last couple years, man. Excited to see what you do next. Excited to see all the records that you continue to break, bro. Happy to have you on.
Most definitely, most definitely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So how we normally get started, man, we have a segment called the Financial Coin Toss. So I'm going to ask you a few either or questions just to see where your head's at, all right?
Okay.
So, we're here talking about NIL, how you all are able to make money now from your name, image, and likeness. So in your opinion, for you NIL athletes, for your other, peer athletes that are out there, grinding and making this money now and balling out, which is more important for you? How much money y'all can make from NIL or how much money that you keep from NIL?
Probably how much money that you can keep, because we all know NIL stands for name, image, and likeness. So depending on the company that you're with, they can make more off of your name than you are at the end of the day. And I feel like I feel like it is great. It gives athletes a little bit better opportunity to have more money in their pockets.
Yeah.
But I'd probably say it's probably more important to worry about how much we're keeping versus the overall deal itself.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense because, like you said, man, you could have all the money in the world, but if you just got, we said $1 million. If you just got $1 million and you spent 999,000
Yeah,
of that million, then what was the point? You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah.
No, so that makes a lot of sense, man. And like I said, we're here talking about you athletes, and speaking of just athletes, the athlete, the entrepreneur, we all have like a certain turning point moment in our lives where we realize, okay, we can make it to the next level. We can take it bigger than where we're at now. So for you, take us back to your defining moment at high school when you knew that you could run track at the next level.
For me, it was kind of weird in a way. I've always ran track, maybe since about 8 or 9 years old, but I was never necessarily good at it. So my
Really?
mom, yeah,
Why?
I wasn't as good as I am now. So the funny thing is, my mom's like, just keep pushing, just keep pushing. And for me, like, God was a big factor in my life.
For
So
sure.
she's like, if you feel like this is what you want to do, keep pushing, and God's gonna take you to higher levels.
Mm-hmm.
When I got to high school, I didn't win a lot of races. I came sixth through eighth place on average. It just
Mm-hmm.
became really frustrating for me. But my mom's like, if this is what you want to do, pray about it, talk to God about it. So I'm like, all right. And I remember one day, I kid you not, and I tell everybody the story. It was like
Yeah.
my senior year, and before the senior year started, I was like, God, if this is meant for me to do, just allow me to break through this season and show me things that I've never been able to do before.
Mm-hmm.
So I get in the senior year, and I get my first win, I think. And I just remember, like, I was like, okay, we can do this. And then the wins just kept
Yeah.
racking in. They just kept racking in and racking in and racking in. And I remember
Mm-hmm.
it got to sectionals time, and top two from sectionals go to the state championship.
Okay.
So I was in a field with 8 other guys, and I was seated eighth place, meaning you have 7 other guys that are faster than you.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, I'm like, no way I'm gonna win this. No way I'm gonna win this. But I prayed about it once again.
For sure.
We get in the starting blocks. Announcers like, on your mark, get set, gun goes off. I remember getting out, and I remember being in front of everybody for like the first 40 meters. And in my mind, I was like, I just won this. Like, I got this race.
Uh-huh.
Um, I won the race there for the 100-meter dash, set the new track record there as well
Yes,
as a
sir.
senior. And then it got me to state. And after that, I was like, okay, I think What else? What can you do next? What's the next thing? Got the
Uh-huh.
state championships, finished third in the state. So when I got to that level, I was like, I feel like I'm ready to do some pretty nice things.
You said now it's time to keep elevating. So I just really love, man, how you double down on your faith. You know what I mean? You put your faith in God, and it sounds like not only you put your faith in God, but you put your faith in the work that you were doing. You said, when, your earlier years, your sophomore and junior year, when you said you were coming sixth and eighth place on average, and that gave you that hustle, that gave you that, and I think that that's great for all of the athletes listening. Use the good things in your life to motivate you, but also use the bad things or you not being where you want to be to motivate you as well. And using that kind of philosophy, you're motivated by everything. So,
Yep.
so if people are showing you love, use that to motivate you so you can keep balling out for the people that you love. If people are showing you hate or negative things are happening in your life, use that so it won't be as many negative things because now you're that positive light. Now you're where you want to be. You're winning these races. You're breaking all types of records, man. So that makes a lot of sense, and I think it really helps a lot of the younger folks. So going back to your high school career, after you started, that was your senior year. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing the recruitment process kind of picked up rapidly after that, or were there some schools that recognized the potential? How did the recruiting process work for you?
Well, track and field is all time based. It's all numbers based. So you
Uh-huh.
get recruited based off the marks you hit. And I would say the time that I ran, it was fast, but it wasn't like I'm finna go Power Five D1 fast, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
So I had to kind of play my options out a little bit. And the biggest thing for me was understanding where I was at as an athlete. Most athletes
Mm-hmm.
go into getting transferred and like, oh, I want to go to Kentucky or I want to go to Arkansas or Texas, and
Yeah.
they don't have the skill set yet to know that they want to go there. So for me, it was being honest with
Mm-hmm.
myself as an athlete,
That's
knowing where I
huge.
needed to go. So I wasn't upset when I didn't get recruited by these big name schools. It was just trying to find a spot where I could continue to do what I wanted to do and
Mm-hmm.
find somewhere where somebody would take a chance on me regardless of what the statistics say. And
Gotcha.
from there, that's where I found Maryville. They took a chance on me. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I mean, Maryville, we just opened up the track team, what, 2 years ago?
yeah, 2 years. I started it off my
Yes,
freshman
sir.
year. So this
Start
was my second year with them.
mm-hmm. Started off with a bang, man. And I think that's just for one, we need to point out your self-awareness, bro, because the fact that you had that self-awareness to be like, okay, my times are here. I can go somewhere smaller, ball out there, break all type of records, and then look to go somewhere else bigger, make a bigger name for yourself, eventually get those big old NIL deals, and then, cross over to that professional track if that's where you want to go, or to the Olympics, because man, your progression over the years needs to be, you need to get your flowers, brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes,
you need to
sir.
get your flowers, man. So
Yeah.
I love that, bro. That was a good one. That was
Most
a good
definitely.
one. So man, let's get a little bit into the NIL. This is a student athlete NIL podcast. Just what's your overall thoughts on the whole name, image, and likeness? New rule change. It happened in 2021, so we're about 3 years in. But
Hmm.
obviously, I don't know if you saw literally last week, but they passed a rule that the Power Five schools would now be paying the student athletes as employees.
Yeah.
So rules are constantly changing, constantly changing. So just what's your overall thoughts on NIL?
Um,
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to benefit us athletes 10 times more than it's going to benefit programs. I say that
Mm-hmm.
because all the best athletes now are going to be gathered in one spot. And that's going to be the spot that can give that person the most money. It's going to be taking like a job offer now. You're going to go to the spot that can give you the most money.
Yeah.
Now, if you got common sense like I do, the money I don't care about. I'm going to be in the spot where I'm still going to develop and grow the best way I can.
Yeah.
The money, I just trust it comes on its own. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully people can think smarter and not just be like money hungry,
Facts.
or that's going to be real. That's going to be a mess real soon. But That's just my
Mm-hmm.
whole thought process on all of it.
Man, that's really good, bro. Thinking even about, you know, with the opportunity to make this money, it definitely is a great way to set our athletes up for success because as you know, 98% of athletes won't make it to that next level. So if we can set up our athletes now for success, then that is a perfect way to utilize NIL. So have you already started to utilize NIL by doing any brand deals, doing anything for like local businesses? Like how have you used how have you utilized NIL to kind of set yourself up for success?
First 2 years I had three.
Okay.
I wasn't necessarily making like big loads of money, but they were like on the smaller end. Just because you're from a smaller school, you
Mm-hmm.
tend to get smaller ones. But I had my own merch brand.
Okay.
Um, I had a partnership with the Goat Fuel, and then I
Oh, that's
had
lit.
one with the. I don't know if you've heard about like the insoles, the Victory insoles that
Okay,
athletes
is that for
use.
like for
Like,
track for like your spikes?
yeah, they came up with the track side of it, and then they started off actually with basketball and football.
Uh-huh.
They're supposed to give you more bounce and more explosiveness. And
Okay.
then they moved out to the track side, and they're like, "Here, I want you to try these out. Put them in your spikes. See how these go." They actually emailed me, and they're like, "They're trying to start up the track side of it all." And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Sure." So I kind of made a little bit off that as well.
Okay. So like how have the deals like did you go out and get the deals? Did they all come to you?
Uh huh.
Is it all, give me the product and then I'll create social media content around it? Kind of break down how the deals have worked so far.
For my merchandise, I had to be the one to reach out for that one. Reach
Mm.
out, get it set up. For Go Fuel and Victory, they reach out to me via seeing
Mm.
my content. They're like, "You're a great person. You
Yeah.
get your content out pretty well. I want you to be the one to represent our brand. And here's like the
Mm.
logistics, what you have to do, how much you get paid, yada yada." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay, I'm down to do it."
Mm, okay. So like double down on how important because like you said they found you from social media and they were able to see that you were authentic, you were able to
hmm
get good content out. So double down on one how important it is and then also give a few tips on how you actually do produce content.
Um, I say it's important. One, just making content in general helps you create a platform for yourself. It
Uh-huh.
helps you become a person. It helps you kind of figure out who you are in a way because you're now the manager of your own self.
Mm-hmm.
It's also why it's why I try to keep my, especially Instagram, I try to keep my profile on athletic basis only. Like I might have one or two like casual posts, like little
Mm-hmm.
fit posts, little fit check posts,
For
that
sure,
type of
for
thing.
sure. Gotta
Yeah,
pop it off
yeah.
sometimes.
But I try to keep it minimal, just because now so many people are running through my accounts, so many people are seeing my accounts.
Yeah,
You got to keep it on topic, if that makes any sense.
for sure. For sure. So that's the importance. Give a few tips for the athletes that are listening on how
hmm
they can create that quality and authentic content.
First off, just being yourself. Don't try to be like anybody else when you're creating content. I've seen a lot of content creators try to copy this guy, and overall, it
Mm,
just makes their content suck. You
yeah,
get engagement and you pull followers from being yourself and being unique in yourself. And I gained
gotcha.
a lot of my following just because of the way my journey was portrayed. People say it's motivational, they say it's helpful, but
Mm-hmm.
I stay unique to myself, and I stayed true to who I was. I didn't try to change for the camera. How you see me on the camera is how you're gonna see me in person. Like how we're talking now is how you see me in everyday life.
For
And I
sure.
learned that quicker than ever. Like you got to just stay true to yourself, stay true to the content you're making, and don't try to go too outside the box when it comes to creating content. As far as
Mm-hmm.
like ideas, go outside the box, but I meant like when it comes to being you, stay you.
For sure.
Don't
That
go
makes
out
sense.
and change who you are. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That authenticity, like people are gonna be able to tell immediately, okay, that's that person. That's Clarence. Like that's just who he is.
Yeah.
He's authentic. And then if you're trying to portray someone else's I think like you said, these some
hmm
other content creators are trying to steal other content creators ideas and their posts and things of that nature, and you clearly seen it. Like, hey, I've seen this before. It feels it doesn't feel authentic.
Yeah.
So people are going to be able to recognize that. So just like, because now student athletes, you're like student, you're an athlete, you're an influencer, and you're an entrepreneur now with the brand deals that you're making and constantly doing. So like, how are you able to balance all of that? Like those are four different, and all of them are full-time jobs: student,
Yeah.
athlete, influencer, and entrepreneur. Like, how has it been, balancing all that?
It's been pretty fun actually. The
Mm-hmm.
more you get, the more you do, the more I did it, and it becomes such of a hassle. It just became part of everyday life.
Yeah.
So like I might post a video here and there every 2 days. Might make a post every once in a while. Um, Grind on the track during the day. Do school during the day.
Mm-hmm.
I usually would make my content like after practice. It was just kind of like it
Okay.
became like a daily thing, almost like a job in a way. And then like the deals,
Facts.
just making the videos for those as well.
Mm-hmm.
And after, like I said, after a while, it just becomes habit, especially if it's like what you love to do.
Mm-hmm.
Over time, you just love doing it. The balance becomes the easy part, and you just live life.
And bro, I just have a couple more questions for you. I want
Sure.
to know with, this NIL, athletes are making money, they're having to do brand deals, they're having to basically, like I said, be an entrepreneur. And the biggest I would say factor about being an entrepreneur is understanding money management. So, do you believe that it should be necessary for these schools to provide some type of financial education around NIL? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Most definitely. And just for the simple fact, a lot of people, a lot of kids, especially our boys, they hear money and they want to go buy the gold chains or the gold jewelry and all that. And then
Yeah.
when it's all said and done, they can't even afford the groceries they need because they just got all the
Mm,
gold. So
for
I
sure.
feel like it's really important to understand how to spend that money when you get it, even
Uh,
at the NCAA level. Because we know some professional athletes get that first paycheck and $1 million and be broke in the next month. You just got a multi-million-dollar paycheck. How are you broke? Like,
facts.
so it should. I feel like definitely when they're getting this money, they need to learn how to spend it, how to save it, how to
Mm,
invest it, and how to ultimately make the money keep coming and not be broke. So most definitely.
got you. Yeah, I'm in 100% agreement, bro, because I feel like, whether student athletes are going to graduate and go professional, whether they're going to graduate and start their own business, or whether they're going to graduate and work for somebody else's business, the foundation, the baseline is financial education. And I feel that colleges, if they're preparing us to go make money and go get a job or go start our own business, then they should also prepare us to manage the money that we're making from the degree that we got at the school. You know,
Hmm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so man, we definitely on the same page, brother. And my last question for you, man, I just want to know what is next for Clarence McLean Jr., man. What's next for you, brother?
Hopefully continuing to progress the way I did.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I've done it, sky's the limit for what I want to do. So if I
Yes,
set a
sir.
goal, and I know now, regardless of what people say, like tell me I can't do, regardless of what people say, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
get that goal. So next up for me is trying to make an NCAA Division One championship this upcoming year. I'll be
Come
transferring
on,
to the
man. You
high.
know what we talked about earlier, bro. Your next step is making the Division One. Go
Hmm.
ahead.
So
Go
I'll be
ahead.
there. I will be at a Division One institution my next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Highly blessed to be able to have the opportunity, but
For sure.
now it's just starting. I wouldn't say I'm at the bottom, but I like to think of it like I'm at the bottom. I'm starting all over again, and
Yeah.
that grind is what I love. It's what keeps me engaged. The grind to
Yes,
get to the
sir.
top and take over all over again. So the goal is the NCAA Division One national championships, and if I'm making that, I might dang near by that time be an Olympic qualifier because you qualify for an NCAA Division One championship, you're going to see the Olympics. Either way it
Yeah.
goes. So I'll put both of those goals right next to each other. So to be an
Mm-hmm.
Olympian in the next 2 years, that's the next goal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I love it. I love it, man. Thank you so much for joining the Nothing But Net Worth podcast. If you have any final takeaways for our listeners, go ahead and also let them know where they can reach you, how they can follow you.
All I would say is being an athlete, man, go out there, have fun, block out the noise, and just be yourself. At the end of the day, everything you want to have is going to happen. And the only way that's going to happen is if you have the internal desire to be you, the internal desire to work beyond anything, and ultimately just realizing that if you want it to happen, it'll happen. And that's my little takeaways for y'all. If y'all want to reach me, I'm on Instagram at you can just search up Clarence McLean Jr. It'll probably be the first thing to pop up. I run track and field, like I said, from Maryville College earlier. Twitter, Clarence McLean. TikTok, also Clarence McLean. So,
yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir, man. Like I said, I do want to thank you, man. You killed it today. Want everybody else that's listening right now, take some of these small gems that Clarence dropped here today, apply them to your life now. We talked about a lot of great things, but if you could take one or two gems that Clarence dropped here and start to apply them to your life, I promise you there will be large results over time. So again, brother, thank you so much. And y'all already know, if you're looking to be educated, motivated, and inspired to not only stay in the game, but to change it, the Nothing But Net Worth podcast is for you. See y'all next week.
yeah.
Yes, sir.